Sometimes it's more sunny.
Yeah. And Mitch, you were tired. You said that you had a lot of things to do yesterday. Did you do many things, Mitch? Or
Uh,
how was your day yesterday?
um, we no, didn't do very much. I was working here in the computer, and we went to eat to the Cibeles. Mickey went to
Okay.
Leon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's what you said to me, Remiki, that you saw Van Gogh's exposition.
Yes, teacher. Yeah, it was at Altasia and it was okay, but I will rate probably 7.5 of 10. Probably because I have like the other comparison of the same exposition.
Okay. And the pictures, the paintings that you saw, but you saw that online. That is an online experience, right?
No, no. For example, if you purchase your ticket online, they give you a discount. That's what I try to mean.
Oh, okay, okay. But the paintings were the original ones, or what?
No, no. It is a different exposition. It's like uh, you go into a hall where they are as projecting, or how can I say,
Yeah,
showing,
projecting.
yeah, projecting the images of Van Gogh, and they put sounds and tells about his story and all the stuff.
Oh, very nice. That
It's
sounds
called
nice. But they use,
uh,
yeah,
uh, immersive experience, something like that.
immersive experience. Okay.
Hmm.
Ah, okay. But then you said that it's like 170 pesos.
Yeah, that's why I put a 7.5 because I think that it's a little bit expensive um, for the experience. Probably if there were, I don't know, 100 pesos, I would say that it's okay.
Oh, okay. So it's like going to the movies in a way, right? More or less say that.
Yeah, probably all the exposition longs around 30 minutes or maximum 40 minutes.
Ah, okay. Oh, so maybe it's a bit expensive. Yes,
Yeah.
270, 170 for 30 minutes. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's a bit short.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. Well, today I'd like to ask you about a character that is controversial, not always very popular. Some people actually deem it as part of a very controversial movement, but he's a very smart person, and he is the father of modern philosophy. Obviously, his name is Karl Marx, which is the founder of the Marxism. People look at Marxism with a dubious eye. They think that instilling Marxism, which I don't advocate, I'm not an advocator of Marxism at all, but people believe that by mentioning Marx is almost like mentioning the devil, right?
Hmm.
And it is not like that, really. He was a thinker, he had some systems, what do you think? Have you worked in a company that considers people just like a number or like a yeah, is think like robots or just like numbers? So what do you think,
Mm.
Mickey Mitch?
Sorry, teacher, I couldn't hear you. I don't know if it was my computer, but I couldn't hear you.
It freeze for a little. Ah,
Oh, okay. Can you see me now? Can you hear me? Hello,
Yes.
can you see? Ah, okay. About who work in companies, do you think companies in general people humanely or just as numbers or depending on the company? What's your general idea of working in a company, a large corporation, Mitch Mickey?
My idea?
What do you mean?
Yeah, just uh, use workers as if they were just numbers and they use them as if they were another tool. I don't know if that's always the case. What do you think about this concept, this idea that people become aliens that just a tool for the company? They can discard anytime.
Hmm.
What do you think of
Hmm.
this idea?
Mm, well, I think that is something that sometimes happens in so many cases because there are a lot of people who wants to get probably the same job or the same work, and obviously the enterprises know that, and for the same reason, it's like, okay, if you don't want to work, there will be 1,000 people who wants to do it. So probably, yeah, I think that we can be, how do you say, replace
Replace, yeah, exactly.
easily.
Yeah, there's easily. That is exactly the concept of becoming replaceable, becoming just piece in a puzzle. Well, that concept was criticized by Marx 200 years ago when it says that you are not the owner of your work. You produce work that is not your work. For example, let's say that Mitch works for a Pixar or another company. One company that
Mhm.
produces drawings, Mitch,
Um,
or designs as a corporation.
well, uh, I think every enterprise could need things like that. But a specific example,
Okay, and they give you, yes, let's say that they give you 25 designs per day, and then you, or let's make 12, so that eight designs per day, one per hour. You make 8 designs per day, that is one per hour, one per hour. And that means that you need to be producing and producing and producing. But one day you say, one day you just produce 8 designs. They say, well, we that is not good for the company. You need to produce eight or else, right?
mhm,
And what? And the other thing is that the owners of the drawings is the company. It's not yours anymore, but it's the company. What do you think of this concept, which is very common nowadays because it's part of the capitalistic system? But Marx said that you are not the owner of your own production. You produce something, but it's not yours. It belongs to someone else.
mhm.
What do you think of this concept, which is very
Hi.
common, by the way?
Yes. Actually, I never think about it. I always seen those kind of things that the bosses give you an order to do that kind of production, and you have to give it to them. You know since the beginning that it's not going to be yours. Okay, you can say, okay, I do this, but in a little group of persons, but not everyone going to know that. I think it's something that we have to be aware of, and if you want to make products for yourself, it has to be independent. I that's how always it works, and I never think about that as a something bad. But and I analyzing it right now, I think the designers maybe need a little more recognition.
It's very interesting how you see it, Mitch. Really interesting, and also very intelligent. Because if you want to do it on your own, you need to be independent, right? Independent, and that's what they call entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneur. Maybe in this moment you don't have the means of production. Which what do you need to start your own business? In some cases, not in every case, but in some cases, if you doctor, I mean, to build a hospital is expensive. But if you are in the design business, maybe it's not so difficult.
Actually,
What do you need?
I don't know, but my boyfriend just created a couple of days ago a agency of creative console, uh, an enterprise, a little enterprise, but maybe you have a little money to start or know how to position it, your new enterprise into the social media. Um, I don't really know, but I think you know about marketing and have money, maybe.
Okay. Yes. All right. Thank you very much. Well, let's take the case of Mickey. Mickey has his own business. He has the means of production. That means not only the physical computer, but also the technology, the knowledge, the know-how, right? Can you say, Mickey, that it was an expensive infrastructure to start your business, or was not very expensive? How was the, and not the quantity precisely, but if it was expensive or not expensive to develop the infrastructure to start your business?
Mm, well, for me, it wasn't expensive because I don't have a building where I sell my products. I think that one advantage that now we have is that we can sell so many things through internet, through e-commerce, and I would say that if you know how to advertise your business correctly, and if you have um, the habit to, I don't know, to create posts or to create stories or to answer your messages of the clients that want to, of the people who wants to buy something in your business, I don't think that it's difficult and expensive either.
Okay. Do you consider your business, Mickey, independent work? It's like a corporation where you have employees or you don't have employees.
Mm, I wouldn't say that they are my employees, but I have people who helps me to sell the things that I sell.
Well, what Marx was talking about this is how is the business relationship with others, and that is extremely interesting, and it is dating from the 1800s. So they would be your what associates, partners. They work on commission. They work on a stipend, um, because normally the way people associate is as subordinates with a salary, uh, associates with a commission, or a mix of both. Um, in some places, like when you sell real estate, when you sell houses, when you sell buildings, when you sell apartments, normally it is a mix of both. They give you a commission, but also they give you like basic expenses to cover your trips. You go to see this person, you go to see that person. They give you an allowance for gasoline, right?
Yeah.
So how do you normally work with your workers, Mitch? If that is not too confidential, of course.
um, they work with a commission. If they, for
Okay.
example, sell a pair, I don't know if the pair cost. Well, they sell the pair at 6,000. Probably I'm gonna give to them 400 pesos, depending.
Oh, that's very nice. But then you starting to grow as a corporation, and when you have people under you or people working with you, it becomes more not a sole proprietorship when it's only you,
Mm-hmm.
but it starts to grow and it starts to become a corporation, more like a corporation, right? Where you
Yeah.
have more people. So,
Hmm.
well, um, the nature of this business, the nature of all the businesses, the nature of work is what was crucial for Marx, right? Was crucial for Marx. For him, he used the terms uh, exploitation. And of course, not always in a negative way, but we have people that work for us. For example, I have teachers that work for me in the school and I pay them a salary. And sometimes they say, well, it would be interesting that you pay us per student, in other words, like a commission. And I tell them, well, yeah, but sometimes I have only just one or two students or three, not 5 or 10. So they would
Yeah,
have
of course.
less than average, right?
Hmm.
So wouldn't be so convenient for them. What do you think of the system, the capitalism against communism against socialism? If you have an idea, what's your current idea in this moment, Mich Miky? How do you compare capitalism with communism with socialism? How do we compare capitalism with socialism with communism? How do you how do you have you visited not visited, have you seen how countries like China and Cuba and Venezuela work, their problems, their difficulties, compared to places like Germany, the US, other places, Mitch, Mickey?
Um, yeah, well, I'm not informed about it, but I think that, for example, the socialism and the communism uh, were used in a bad way. Probably they were not used in the way that um it must be used. So I think that the idea of socialism and communism changed now that it was applied.
Okay, okay. For example, Japan, Mitch, what is the social system of Japan? Do you
I
know?
don't know.
Excuse me?
I don't know. Um,
Can we find out, please?
sure.
Social system or political system of
Uh,
Japan?
a street group. Uh, uh, uh.
And maybe you can find out the political system of
Maybe.
countries like Sweden, Mickey, or Iceland, which have not exactly a capitalistic system, but also not a communist system. It's more like a social democratic system, same as Germany.
It just said social organization. I don't know if it is.
In Sweden, Swedish politics take place in a parliamentary representative democratic constitutional monarchy.
Monarchy. Okay, so still monarchic. In where did you say, Mickey?
in Sweden.
Sweden. Okay, Sweden. All right, that's Suecia. Um, well, we think that all the systems are good in one place and all the systems are bad in another place, but I think that varies. For example, let's look for this question, please, Mickey or Mitch. Countries where capitalism is a success and countries in which it is a failure. Where do you think that capitalism is a success? For example, in Mexico, that is highly capitalistic. The manager of a business will make 30 times more than the worker or 50 times more, right?
Hmm.
So it's an extreme difference. In other places like Japan, uh, the difference is not so abrupt. So it's more effective how they use capitalism in other countries than how they use it in Mexico, for example, right? Compare what the manager of a company, for example, I work for a company that was agro industry, and the manager made, the owner made 100,000 pesos per week profit, and the workers made 1,500 per week. That is what, 60 times more, right? Or what?
Yeah, more or less.
Yes. Okay. Of course, he was extremely brilliant, very intelligent, very, very smart person. No doubt about it. But he didn't work 60 times more than the other guys. So if the workers worked 8 hours, um, he didn't work 540 hours a day. And because the day doesn't have 540 hours. So, and this is also linked because they make huge fortunes, which is good because they are very smart, but the workers make very little. And that is a concern with the system. But on the other hand, you have countries in which socialism or communism makes people work too little, like in Cuba. Cuban people are very smart, very good people, Cuba, but a doctor makes 30 US per month. What do you think of that?
That's something horrible, of course.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's unfair also.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That depending of the country who applies the system, because at the end, obviously, I think that the systems were created to give better opportunities to people and to give more uh, equality in a way. But at the end, the way in how we use it, uh, it's been in so many cases the wrong way, or I don't know how to say it, but we didn't apply correctly.
Okay, exactly. What is the system of France? Actually, the national anthem of France talks about fraternity. France. Let's take a look at the lyrics, please, for a moment. Let's take a look. Can you Google the national anthem of France, please, with English subtitles, please? English subtitles, please. Can you?
Hmm.
National anthem of France with English subtitles. It's extremely beautiful, and it um invites you to truth.
La Marseillaise. I found it here.
Let's say yes. Okay, here it is. Okay, share it, Mickey, please.
Hmm. Do you want the video or just the lyrics?
Well, if you can share the video, it would be great too, and the lyrics also. This is
Yeah, I
very
can
very
share it, but
nice. You know
sometimes I
this.
think that Uh, you guys couldn't hear you.
Oh, so maybe the link, and
Mm-hmm.
we could listen it from here. Do you know the national anthem of France, Mitch? Do you like it?
No, I never hear it. I want to hear
You've
it
never
more.
heard it? Okay,
No,
it's very pretty. The music is fabulous.
let's see.
Mm,
Let's see if you can share that, Mickey, please. The video, or I have a video here. The Marseillaise.
I said it in the private chat.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yes. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Mickey. Let's play this and let's take a look at the lyrics. Let's listen to a brief part of it only. Yes. Yes. We're coming to you. It's also the children and partners. Two arms.
Wow, it's so
Yeah.
explicit.
Yeah, it's very intense. Ask them to fight against tyranny, right? They don't want tyranny. The last words on fraternity, equality.
Yeah.
Let me look into that. Well, you have the lyrics too, right, Mickey? Let's analyze the
Yes.
lyrics. Had you listened to this before? I'm sure the Marseillaise is very famous, right?
Uh,
Um, let's see, we find lyrics. So,
mhm. I found here the lyrics.
oh, can you share it, please?
Ah, okay. I sent it a link, but let me share it.
Oh, okay. The link is
Can you see it?
here. The Marseillaise. Did you here? Uh, Italian. It's too long, too extensive.
Yeah.
Uh, liberty. They talk about liberty. They tremble. They fight up against tyrants, tyranny, obviously. They talk about despots, and they want to escape from ancient slavery in verse 2. That page that you sent me is very good, thanks. Um, so they are racing against tyranny. In the first
Mhm.
verse, you read it, they fighting against tyranny. The second one, just make the battalions. He talks badly about the kings, right? They are obviously fighting about against royalty, the time of monarchy, right?
Yeah.
They want to fight slavery, as you say, as you can see in the second paragraph, returning to ancient slavery. They want to fight that. warriors, despots. They call them vile despots. Would become. He's calling strong names to the monarchs.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because they were so dramatically abusing the citizens, and that's why the French Revolution started as a rebellion against the people who were really despots. Do you know the story of the French Revolution?
No, teacher.
No? Okay, well, basically, the monarchs were feeding filet to their dogs, and the people was starving. That's in a few words.
Mm,
So, okay, the glory 7 and 7, um, virtues. Okay, okay. So as you can see, it talks about fraternity, talks about the fatherland, and it's a very beautiful anthem that talks about fraternity mostly, fraternity among citizens, and it's truly beautiful, right? And the national anthem of Italy is similar. So countries like France, they have a. Well, let's see this: the political system of France, Mitch, please, Mickey. Political system of France, and they live really well. Eh? Political system of France. What do you call this system?
Unitary is semi-presidential.
Semi-presidential, yes. But what exactly is that? Let's read what exactly that is. Can you read here, Mitch, please?
Sure. How would you describe the political system in France? The politics of France take place with the framework of the semi-presidential system, determined by the French Constitution of the French Fifth Republic. The nation declares itself to be an invisible, secular, democratic, and social republic.
Okay, but these words, indivisible. Okay, what is going on with Spain? What happens with people in the north? Hi, the guys. These where you have Barcelona. They want to separate, right? They have separatist movements in Portugal. Was the same. In Ireland, many places want to separate. So the French make sure that they don't separate. What is secular, Mitch, Mickey?
mm,
Secular. Is it religious or non-religious?
mm,
Uh,
not religious.
Yeah, no, non-religious. In other words, like in Mexico, right? Supposedly in Mexico, the educational system is secular. There shouldn't be a religion that primes in the educational system. How is education at Instituto? Is it secular or non-secular?
particular what?
Or non-secular? Is it religious or secular?
Secular?
Yes.
Secular.
Yes, right. They don't impose uh, any specific religion. They don't force people to pray like in the Andes or Cumbres, etc. Democratic, well, is people vote, cast a vote, and you decide who's the person is going to be. But social republic, what is a social republic? What is that? How would you say a social republic is?
Mm,
What comes to your mind?
um,
Social Republic?
Yes, what is that?
Uh, Here it says that is the one who declares constitutionally dedicated to the construction of the socialism.
Socialism. They want to construct socialism. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but then what is socialism then? Socialism in English. Let me see this in English. Definition. Social. They want.
Um,
Yes, Mitch.
a philosophy current, politic current, social and economic, and in an ideology which has some socioeconomic system characteristic for the social property and the production media and the autogestion of the enterprises for part of the workers.
Okay. In other words, instead of having one owner of a company, you have various owners.
Mhm.
You have. It's like if you build a company in which you have Mitch, Mickey, and Luis have a company. Well, that's a collective company, collective corporation. The three of you work. You work together in this company. Let's call. What do you make here? Let's make. Let's suppose that you make toys. You make toys, right? Making toys for kids. Making toys for kids, right? You have three cooperatists or three people who work in this company, and you make toys for kids. And it's not Mitch's company, it's not Luis's company, it's not Mickey's company. The three of you are the owners. The three of you have this company. Is you can call it cooperative or you can call it whatever you want, a mutualist, etc. But the three of you make the decisions. It's not only that one decides and the other does not decide, or there is a manager. No, there are three people with the equal categories, equal decisions, equal power, and of course you make money. They produce, they make money, right? Make money, make money is the purpose. Well, making toys, make a profit, and the three partners decide. Of course, some cooperatives go up to 50 members. Some cooperatives have only 20. Some others like Cemento Cruz Azul. You know Cruz Azul, right, Mickey? The
Yeah.
team. Well, that's a cooperative. I don't know how many members that cooperative has. Lucy Fuerza. So there can be a cooperative with very few people. Well, not every organization should be a cooperative, but the owners of the production is a group of people, not one only. Why is that a difference? So how does that impact? I'm not saying that is better or that is worse, but what can change when there is a group of people ruling an organization as compared to one person ruling an organization? What is the difference?
Hmm. Obviously, when there are more people involved in something, uh, there must be different point of views, and it is something good because the decisions are not only for one person. There
Mhm.
is a cooperative decision.
Exactly. What are you? Very good, very well explained, Mickey. Thank you very much. Which can be the disadvantages with this model? There are advantages, which is obvious, like Mickey says. Um, Instead of having one person that is an expert in the business, there are three people. So instead of training one person to become a very good manager, you are training three people. And maybe in the future, each of these three people will have their own business. They will be part of a cooperative, but also independently, each one of them will have a business and they will be experts because the three of them are making decisions on a managerial level. So we will have three experts that can have three different business on the side, separate, apart, independently. So the learning capacity is much higher. That's an advantage. But there is a disadvantage. What is a disadvantage here, Mitch, that you see in terms of time, let's say?
Mm, in terms of time?
Yes. How much time takes does it take you, Mickey, to make a decision? Well, I'm gonna introduce a new line. Well, yes, I'm gonna do this. Or then you say, no, I'm gonna do something different. How much time does it take you to make a decision yourself?
Depends
Hmm. Yeah, obviously depending of
on the
what it's about
situation.
the decision, but sometimes days.
Okay. Now imagine that that decision has to be taken by not one person, but by three people.
Maybe it could be like the three of them a superior. There is not a superior person if they need to help. If he or she need help to take that decision, could current to the other ones.
Well, yeah, but the question is more or less in terms of time to make the decision. If one person makes a decision, let's say in 2 hours, one person makes a decision in, say, in 1 hour, take days, like Mickey says, right? If it's a complex decision, three people will take longer to decide, obviously. Do you agree or not?
I'm not sure.
Oh, no?
Maybe
Okay. Maybe
maybe
less? Okay.
one could investigate about statistics, other about the money, other about the people, and at the end they could fuse that information between the three, and maybe could get a decision faster. I'm not really sure. That's how I see it.
Well, that's a very interesting comment, really. You divide the tasks in order to make the decision faster. Well, that could happen too, really. I never thought of that before. Could be. What do you think, you, Mitch? What do you think of this, Mickey?
Mm, yeah, obviously, one disadvantage is that there will be people who's gonna agree with you, and there's gonna be people who's gonna disagree, and probably uh, it is an advantage, and at the same time, it's a disadvantage. But it's an advantage because you can see a different point of view, and I always think that is something good because there will be things that probably you're not able to see or you're not looking.
Right, of course, of course. They say two heads think better than one head, right?
Yeah.
That's true. Well, I'd like to show you a graph that I made yesterday. I posted that actually in my Facebook wall. I don't do this very often, but yesterday I did, and that shows the number of cooperatives in the world in many countries. I want to show you this, just a picture really quick, and that is amazing because people think that cooperatives. I don't know what people think about cooperatives, but let me show you this. I'll place this here, and here it is. I'll share the screen now. I produced this graph yesterday, and it's really interesting because it tells you how much we cooperate in cooperatives, obviously. And let's see how you can interpret this graph. Okay, this is the number. These are the numbers. What can you read there, Mitch?
Um, Comparatives. Is that the comparative Mexico has 126 million citizens, has 194 cooperatives, and I don't know what is the the third one. So it's
Citizens per
citizen.
cooperative.
Ah, citizens per cooperative. 649,
85.
485,000.
Yes, 485. 649,485
Ah,
people per cooperative. In other words, if all the people were involved in a cooperative, there would be a service of one cooperative giving service to 649, or one cooperative for every 649,000 people. In other words, it's like if you go to school and instead of having one teacher for 11 students, like here, you have one teacher for 650 students, or one teacher for 649,000 students. And look at the other countries, like the USA has 47,000 cooperatives, Argentina has 8,000 cooperatives, France 2,000, Canada 8,000, Germany 7,000, Mexico 194 cooperatives. And cooperatives are obviously for social progress of the citizens. The purpose is the social growth of a cooperative. So look at the numbers in Mexico compared to Germany, Canada, France, Argentina, and the US. Um, what do you think of these numbers? What do they mean for you? What can you interpret from these numbers?
Mm, that obviously Mexico has uh, much citizens than Alemania, than Canada, than France, and Argentina. And at the end, Mexico has less cooperatives. So I think that is something bad because there are so many enterprises, but are only um, managed by one person or one
Yes,
family, you
yes,
know. So
exactly, exactly. That's exactly the problem. And what happens with the citizens? The citizens don't learn. The citizens don't learn. Let's say that here in this system here, where we have Mickey, Mitch, and Luis, well, they are part of the cooperative. They are learning. Mitch is learning to become a manager. Mickey is learning to become a manager. Luis is learning to become a manager. They can have their own companies independently. Maybe they says, well, I'm gonna, besides being in a cooperative, I'm also going to start, uh, uh, let's say, a software company. But how are you going to make the decision? Well, I have experience. How come you have experience? Yes, because I'm also part of a cooperative. Ah, okay. So you start your own company, right? So starts her own company, and then Luis says, well, you know what? I also want to have on the side another business. What are you going to build? Well, I'm going to build, I don't know, houses. Ah, okay. So he starts his own company, right? Starts his own company. And so on. Mickey the same. Mickey says, well, I want to start another company. But do you have experience? Yes, of course, because I'm working in a cooperative as a member. So you know how the enterprises work. So you have experience, you can do something besides that. But let's say that there is a traditional system in which only one person knows the rules and the others are workers. When and how can they start a business if they don't have the experience, right? This is Pepe, for example, Pepe, and here are lots of employees, workers who don't know how to run a company. What is the possibility that these people will one day start their own company? Well, it is very small. Maybe they will. Hopefully they will. But it's more complex. I don't know if you agree with this idea or not, Mitch, Mickey. For example, let's say that Polo wants to begin his company. He says, no, I've been working for Pepe for 20 years now, and I want to do something on my own. And Pancho says the same, and Lupita says the same here. Lupita, right? But they don't have any experience. And of course, they don't have the technology and they don't have anything to start their own company. How can they start their company if they don't have experience, they don't have the resources, and they don't have anything? They will be workers all their life, right? Or not? What do you think?
Yes, I think they. Okay, they don't know all the. Maybe they don't know all the things that it needs to create a company, like the rules and economic stuff, but they can learn with us. In some way, they can. Well, they can ask to the people who know to inform themselves and then to start something by their own.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there is always a way, and I like that attitude. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And now with the information you have in the internet, almost anyone can do it. Why don't they do it? I mean, you don't see lots and lots of people starting new businesses, new schools, new clinics, new enterprises. Why? They have the information available, but however, not everyone is starting a new business every moment. Some people, yes, some people do, and my congratulations to them. But not everyone. Um, Let me ask Mickey something. Mickey, when you decided to start your own company, how did you do it? If I can ask you that.
Uh, we were in pandemic, and I've noticed that so many people lost their jobs because I remember that there were people who were selling things in the streets and or selling food, things like that. And the idea starts from there because it was like, well, we don't know what could happen in the future, so why I don't start to do something by my own? And then I told to my friend, and we say, well, here in Irapuato, I think that it's not so popular, or there's not a person, sorry, who sell sneakers, uh, the type of sneakers that we sell. So we decided to create the page, and then we start with only one pair, and then we sell, uh, and then we sold it, and we start from there.
Oh, it's really nice. The story is
Hmm.
fantastic. Fantastic. But do you agree that you started out of a crisis, which is not always the case, right?
um, well, yeah, in few words, yes, because we were in pandemic, and at the end, I was wondering what could happen if this thing continues, or if something uh, that looks like the pandemic happens again. So
Yes.
so yeah, in few words, yes.
Yeah, okay. So there was economic crisis, you spell like that, crisis. And then, mm, you know that many startups, people who start a business, there is like a failure rate. What is the failure rate of startups in business in the US? Failure rate of startups. What is the failure rate? Failure rate of startups in US. Well, look at that. Can you read that, Mickey, please? Key statistics.
Yes, sir. 20% of new businesses fail within the first 2 years. 45% of new business startups don't survive the fifth year. 65 of new startups fail during the first 10 years, and 75% of American startups go out of business during the first 15 years.
Well, how long have you been with your business now, Mickey?
Um, in March, we reached 2 years.
2 or 3?
2 years, yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you, sure.
Well, you survived the first 20% of new business. That's in the US. I don't know in Mexico. How would it be? Let's look up in Mexico, please. Can we look up in Mexico? Failure rate of startups in Mexico. Mexico. Let's see how it is. I don't know. Uh, okay, look at this. This is more dramatic. Can you read it, please?
Me?
Let's see if Mitch can read it so that she
Okay.
can.
Sure.
Please.
Here's something that we'll explore in more detail below. Small and medium-sized businesses in Mexico have a high failure rate of a 200, no,
Yes, 200,000.
200,000 businesses that open each year. Less than 18% survive more than 2 years, and 25% have little possibility to grow.
Okay, so imagine, Mickey, it's 17% survive. So the fact that you are working, active, growing, that's fantastic because only 70% of businesses survive in Mexico, which is very
Wow.
low,
Oh,
Yeah.
right? So you must be very proud and very happy that your business is on wheels and making progress. So that's just fabulous. It's a great decision, but it's risky too. It's risky because, as you
Yeah.
can see, 70% of businesses survive and 83 fail. Um, so starting a business on your own, well, I'm not going to tell you, how easy or how difficult that is. Um, what do you say that is the talking about the structure, because we're talking about structures, right? Political structures, which what let me structure the question correctly. Yes, structurally speaking, why were you able to do it? Talking about infrastructure, why were you able to do it, Mickey?
Can you repeat it, sure? Yeah, I couldn't hear
Yes,
you.
talking about infrastructure, why were you able to do this business? What was the reason you could start your business? Talking about structure, infrastructure, technology, knowledge, know-how.
Mm-hmm.
What,
Probably it was because I have knowledge about social media and the way how it works. Probably because obviously I don't have a building where I'm selling my sneakers. Everything is online, so probably will be my knowledge about it.
okay, very good. And now a question for Mitch. Mitch, you have many know-hows, right? You are a good drawer. You are an artist. You create software also. I think I understand. And one day you will have to make the decision either to work for a company for a few years, or start your own business, or work somewhere, right? How is your plan to work, more or less, and as a draft, a grandes rasgos, not very specifically.
First, I want to get experience with a little job that I'm doing for some people. Currently, I'm doing once. Then I would like to work in a companies to get experience. Actually, I don't know. I'm someone who like to feel like that the future is uncertain, and let's see what's going on.
You like or you don't like uncertainty?
I like.
You like it? Wow.
Mm.
Okay. All right. And then, more or less, you plan more or less to work for a company for a few years, or you want to do something on your own?
Yes, I would like to do things for the English people by the media, but I could get experience in other parts first.
Like do some works.
You entertainment stuff for the English people mostly.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Well, that'd be great in many ways because first of all, they pay better.
Mhm.
They have a higher paying capacity. That's a fantastic decision. But this would be on your own, right? Something that belongs to you.
Yes.
Oh, business. Okay, very good. Well, we deviated. We're still on the terms of working and corporations and this and that. The profits, the profits, not the profits, yeah, the profits go for the owner. But some companies in Mexico, some companies have the mandate to share the utilities. What do you think of this comment, Mickey?
Mm, well, that's more from the um, more workers. Okay, that's more from the communism.
No, 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 no. If you work for Coca-Cola, which is a very capitalistic company,
Hmm.
there is what they call reparto de utilidades.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh well, I think that is something great because um, it's more equal because obviously if you sell more, obviously you must have a reward or something to reward your work.
Yeah. How would you do it? Some people they say, I made 1,000 peso profit, and then you decide, you can say, I'm going to reinvest 500, reinvest, and 500 distribute. How would you manage those 1,000 peso profit? How would you manage these 1,000 pesos? How would you manage
Probably a 10%.
10% to distribute?
Hmm.
Distribute 10% and reinvest 900?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's what some people do. And that's probably a good idea, right? Reinvest as much as possible and distribute a percentage. How about you, Mitch? Your company made a 1,000 peso profit. How much would you reinvest and how much would you distribute in the workers, among workers?
Ah, caray. Uh, maybe 80, eh, 800 reinvest.
Distribute
Mm, the other part.
200. Okay. Well, this is interesting. This is managerial corporations. How do you manage your corporations? And this is really interesting. But of course, the more you get involved in companies, the more you will be familiar with this. Okay, today we had a kind of dense topic, which is how people worked in the past, how people work in the present. But well, let's have a little break then. When is our next session, Mitch, Mickey?
um I don't know, we have pending classes or we don't have.
I think
Yes, I
one.
think we have one pending class. That can be tomorrow in the morning, anytime, or Sunday if you wish.
Better Sunday.
Better on Sunday?
I think that it's better on tomorrow because probably because it's the last, well, Sunday will be the last day of vacations of my dad. Probably he will gonna do something. I don't know. Probably on Saturday in the morning. Teacher will be great.
Yes, would that be okay with you, Mitch? Like say 9 tomorrow at 9, 9:30?
Okay.
Yeah, at 9 is okay.
9 is okay. Okay, well, see you tomorrow then, Mickey, Mitch. Take care and see you tomorrow. Enjoy. Have a wonderful day.
You too, teacher. Take care.
See you,
Enjoy your
teacher.
weekend.
You too. Nice weekend. Enjoy. See you
Bye.
tomorrow at
Enjoy.
9.
Take
Bye
care.
Thank
bye.
you, teacher.
Take care.
Bye.
Goodbye. See you. Bye bye.